Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to watch this demonstration on meaningful use, how to achieve the core and menu measures. This video will be on core measure number 4, E-Prescribing. Let's get started. First, let's open up the E-Prescribing PDF directly from the MTBC website and read a little bit more about what is required for the E-Prescribing core measure. This is Eligible Professionals Meaningful Use Core Measure number 4 out of 15. The objective is to generate and transmit permissible prescriptions electronically. And the measure for this requirement is 40% of all prescriptions, all permissible prescriptions written by the eligible provider, are transmitted electronically using a certified EHR technology. And any provider who writes fewer than 100 prescriptions is excluded from this measure. So when we say e-prescribing, we mean direct submission to the pharmacy using an electronic method. This does not mean electronic fax. It does mean electronic submission through a clearinghouse such as SureScripts. Let's scroll down a little bit and take a look at some definition of terms. The permissible prescriptions are prescriptions that are Schedule 2 through 5. These are not currently controlled substances. At this time, controlled substances cannot be submitted electronically, even though SureScripts and the DEA are currently working on rolling out controlled substance e-prescribing. So this is specifically about Schedule 2 through 5 medications. The attestation for this rule is similar to many of the attestations we've seen in the previous rules. So this is a numerator-denominator exclusion attestation requirement. The denominator would be the total number of prescriptions written for drugs requiring a prescription in order to be dispensed, excluding your controlled substances. So if you write 100 prescriptions and 20 of them are controlled substances, this denominator will be 80. Because that would be the total number of prescriptions excluding controlled substances. The numerator would be the number of prescriptions in the denominator that were generated and transmitted electronically. So if we have a total of 80 prescriptions, then those prescriptions would be the ones that we would be interested to know for the denominator's purpose, how many of them were submitted electronically. And if you're currently using MTBC's integrated SureScripts, either in the EMR or on the web, or on the iPhone or iPad, you're already meeting this requirement. However, if you're still handwriting prescriptions and providing the patients a handwritten prescription, or even a printed prescription from your EMR, then you're not currently meeting this requirement. The exclusion for this attestation is any provider who writes fewer than 100 prescriptions during the reporting period. If we scroll down to take a look at any additional information, you are, of course, allowed to, but not required to, limit this measure of this objective to those patients that are in the EHR. So again, if you're currently transitioning to the EHR or adopting the EHR in your practice, you don't have to count it for all of your patients or all of your prescriptions, but simply the ones that are documented using the EHR technology. This e-prescribing rule does not include durable medical equipment or DME material. It's simply for electronic prescriptions of Schedule 2 through 5 medications. And as we said earlier, this does not include controlled substances. One final note, eligible providers cannot receive both the 1% Medicare e-prescribing bonus for 2011 along with the meaningful use bonus. You can only qualify for one or the other. So if you are e-prescribing this year as part of your requirement to achieve meaningful use, you will not also have a bonus for the e-prescribing. You'll simply have the bonus for the meaningful use. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to achieve the e-prescribing of more than 40% of the permissible prescriptions through the MTBC EMR. When we're in the MTBC EMR, we can find a patient using our patient search, and we can double-click to go ahead and open up that patient's account. When we get into the patient's account, we can click on the Charts tab to begin clinically documenting this patient's visit and also to e-prescribe a medication. Clicking on the Charts tab will take us into the clinical section, and we'll need to go to the Plan of Care. When we're on the Plan of Care section for this patient, we can see any current medications that this patient has been prescribed, and we can also enter a new medication. Clicking into this section will take us to the New Medication section, and here we can see any available pharmacy benefit plan this patient has, and we'll say Use None. And now we can go directly into the e-prescribing mode. So let's select a medication to send electronically to this patient's pharmacy. If I want to prescribe amoxicillin 125 milligram chewable tablet, I can simply find the medication on my list and double-click on that medication. The SIG will automatically be populated based on the industry standard SIGs for that medication. I can select a quantity to dispense, enter in a day's supply, and number of refills. Next, I must select a pharmacy for this patient, as there's no pharmacy currently saved as this patient's preference. So we'll go ahead and click on the plus sign. Now I can select the pharmacy from my favorites list as the provider, or I can search for any pharmacy of my choice by clicking on All and typing in the pharmacy name. Once I've found my selection, I can double-click to add that to this medication, and I can go ahead and click OK. Once I click OK, I will have my summary screen where I can review my entries, and if I'm satisfied with this prescription, I can click OK to send this medication electronically. Once we've submitted this medication electronically, we'll also see an RX status that will tell us if this submission has been successful to the SureScripts medication engine. To prescribe another medication, we can simply click into the medicine section again, review the pharmacy benefit plan, type the name of the medicine of our choice, select our quantity, day supply, and refills. Our pharmacy is already selected and pre-populated from our previous entry. Click OK, and OK once again on our summary screen. These two medications have now been submitted for this patient. This meaningful use core measure requires that you submit 40% of your prescriptions electronically for unique patients seen during your reporting period.